When labor leads Belgium succeed. Yeah. Loving the voice of the light we lead. But one another do good indeed. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go. New day break and we rise and shine. Small island but big design. Big design. Step by step we meet the need. Okay. Hold one another, plant good seeds. On the red track, keep it like that. Yeah. We can't go forward by looking back. No. Heads up, hearts up, vibe will be. What? Link up, push up, unity. Yeah. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Correct. Loving the voice of the light we lead. Put something up in the air. Hold one another, do good indeed. When we lead Belgium succeed. Yeah. Rain or sun, we find a way. Every day. Lift each other day by day. That's right. From country to town, we move as one. One. Every morning work is done. Not two, not trees.
On the right track, keep it like that.
What?
We can't go forward by looking back. Heads up, hearts up, vibrate beat. Link up, push up, unity.
Tell me where we headed. Forward. Wait. Forward. Tell me.
When labor leads Belgium succeed.
Yeah.
Loving the voice of the light we lead. But one another do good indeed. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go. New day break and we rise and shine. Small island but big design.
Big design.
Step by step we meet the need. Okay.
Hold one another, plant good seeds.
On the red track, keep it like that. Yeah. We can't go forward by looking back. No. Heads up, hearts up, vibe will be. What? Link up, push up, unity. Yeah. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Correct. Loving the voice of the light we lead. Put something up in the air. Hold one another, do good indeed. When we lead Belgium succeed. Yeah. Rain or sun, we find a way. Every day. Lift each other day by day. That's right. From country to town, we move as one. One. Every morning work is done. Not two, not trees.
On the right track, keep it like that.
What?
We can't go forward by looking back. Heads up, hearts up, vibrate beat. Link up, push up, unity.
Tell me where we headed. Forward. Wait. Forward. Tell me what we need. Forward. Wait. Forward. Tell me where we headed. Forward. Wait. Forward.
When labor leads Belgium succeed. Loving the voice of the light we lead. We are done from side to side. Hold one another, do good indeed. BLP. When we lead Belgium succeed. All side to side. Live, 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 every day. Live, 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 every day. Live, 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 every day. BLP. Forward. Forward. I made us live a party. Forward. BLP. Forward. When labor leads Belgium succeed.
Yeah.
Loving the voice of the light we lead. But one another do good indeed. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go. New day break and we rise and shine. Small island but big design.
Big design.
Step by step we meet the need. Okay.
Hold one another, plant good seeds.
On the red track, keep it like that. Yeah. We can't go forward by looking back. No. Heads up, hearts up, vibe will be. What? Link up, push up, unity. Yeah. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Correct. Loving the voice of the light we lead. Put something up in the air. Hold one another, do good indeed. When we lead Belgium succeed. Yeah. Rain or sun, we find a way. Every day. Lift each other day by day. That's right. From country to town, we move as one.
truth.
On the right track, keep it like that. Can't go forward by looking back. Heads up, hearts up, vibrate beat. Link up, push up, unity.
Tell me where we headed. Forward. Wait. Forward up. Tell me what we need. Forward. Wait. Forward up. Tell me where we headed. Forward. Wait. Forward up.
When labor leads Belgium succeed. Working the voice of the light we lead. We are built from side to side. One another do good indeed. BLP. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Watching me. All side to side. Labor, 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 every day. Labor, 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 every day. Labor, 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 every day.
BLP. Barbados Labour Party.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the national anthem. Be seated, please. We're going to have a word of prayer from the Reverend Wayne Curtin.
Please stand. Let's bow our heads. Let's pause for a moment as we invite God's presence among us. Let's give God thanks for our lives, for his many blessings to us as a people. Let's give God thanks for our country and for those that offer themselves to lead us at this particular point in time. We invite God's presence with us as we meet here this evening to continue the business of the Barbados Labour Party in selecting a candidate for the city of Bridgetown. May God's Holy Spirit be with us in whatever we do. We pray as well, Almighty God, for our Prime Minister. We pray that you will continue to give her strength and guidance and wisdom as she seeks to lead this country forward. We pray for each and every member of this great party, that they will be able to deliver and work on behalf of your people, recognizing that in giving service to people, they are serving you. And whatever they do, they must seek to place you in the midst of all. These things we pray through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
All right, everyone, good evening. It's nice to see you all in your red. There's a certain energy here today. I can only assume that something must be in the air. Welcome all to the nomination to select a candidate for the city of Bridgetown. My name is Chris Gibbs. I will be your chairman tonight. First off, I want to say to you that the city of Bridgetown holds a special place in my heart. I think most of you would know that my family line in the city extends back to 1919 from my great-grandmother. 100 years, plus years in the city. And the city of Bridgetown holds a special place in the hearts of our Prime Minister. And we know this because her grandfather was the mayor of Bridgetown, a man by the name of Ernest Dighton Motley, affectionately known as Papa Motley. Some people call him Papa Mots. And of course, it would be remiss of me if I did not mention Dame Billy Miller. Dame Billy holds a special place in our hearts. In fact, I know that anyone who canvasses in the city of Bridgetown, you would probably see a photo, a plaque, something of Dame Billy in all her glory. Such a beautiful woman. Those two set the foundations for representation in the city of Bridgetown. This city bleeds red. This city is red and I know that there's another individual who also holds a special place in our heart. Can you guess who that is? That is correct. Lieutenant Colonel, the most honorable Jeffrey Bostic. A man who hails from where? Chapman Lane. Reverend Colonel will tell you that. Audrey Miller will tell you that. My grandfather Sam Gibbs will tell you that. A good man, a humble man. And he is now the president of Barbados. Clap for that. So the city matters to this Barbados Labour Party. It is the bleeding heart of this country. And comrades, tonight is about democracy in action. This is how we do it on this side. From St. Thomas to St. Joseph to St. Michael Central, we've showed how this Barbados Labour Party handles its business. This party is about unity, recommitting ourselves to the duties of this country. I want to congratulate those members who partook and won their respective nominations. I see Comrade Gregory Nichols here tonight. Give him a round of applause, people. He will handle the mantle of this great party in another stalwart constituency of St. Thomas. Who was the home of who? Tom Adams. And I would like to also say congratulations to Ryan Brathwaite, who will take the mantle in St. Joseph. And last but not least, congrats to Comrade Tyra Trotman. So Barbados Labour Party family, this party is a big tank party. We welcome all that hold democracy in their hearts, who put the people first. Comrade Kirk will tell you what. People over politics. We don't handle our business like the next side, who just close the door in your face, who just close the gate by you.
Oh Lord.
We welcome all who can give service to this party, who cares about people. So comrades, let us have a smooth nomination process tonight. Let us enjoy ourselves. We outside in the city tonight. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Comrade Kirk Humphrey to the podium tonight.
When labor leads Belgium succeed. No baby voice on the life we lead. Hold one another, do good to me. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go. New day break, we rise and shine. Small island, but big design. Big design. Step by step, we meet the need. Okay. Hold one another.
The music sweet, but we about the people business. We about the people business. Yeah. Good afternoon, Labour Party family. Good afternoon, city of Bridgetown. It is so wonderful to be here with you this afternoon. Y'all already know how I feel about people. Y'all already know how I feel about this Labour Party. So for me, this is the best place to be for anybody that like the Labour Party this Saturday afternoon. But I couldn't begin the few remarks that I have to share with you without acknowledging the outgoing member for the city, my very good friend, the former minister in the ministry that I lead, and my brother, my blood. I love this man. I can't put it in words. Cory Lane. And I, like you, so man, give me a little more, but I, like you, feel that Cory put his heart and his soul into trying to help the city of Bridgetown, and that he was a good representative and a strong supporter for this Barbados Labour Party in Parliament, one of the best speakers I've ever heard speak on any issue. I would say to you that I will miss him, but I doubt that this man will be allowed to go anywhere. Only he asked for a little bit of break. He get a little bit of a break, but this Labour Party cannot afford to lose talent like Cory Lane. So please give Cory a big round of applause. And Chris said it very well. The Labour Party knows how to handle its business. We don't push out folk and drag out women and treat people bad. That's not the Labour Party way. And this has been a very mature way Cory has gone about saying he no longer wants to represent the city for whatever reason he has chosen. But I know he will continue to serve the city. But that is the mature nature of this Barbados Labour Party. And I am very happy to be a member of the party. But that is how life goes, and sometimes we have to move on and do what we have to do when God calls us to do other things. And at the same time, we have to welcome new blood into the party. We have to do what? We have to welcome new blood into this Barbados Labour Party. We are a very big red tent. We have to welcome new blood into the Labour Party. And I want to tell you, because as far as I know, there's only one nomination on the floor. And I want to tell you my own personal understanding of Michael Ashley. Because I am a Labour Party man, but I also am a man who serves my God, my Jesus. And I will not do anything unless my conscience is clear about it. I want to tell you that I was in the city when we were doing the gathering for St. Michael. And there were folk from the branch of the city. I want you to hear me. There were folk from the branch of the city who came to me and said to me, please go and have a word with the Prime Minister, because we understand Cory may no longer be interested in serving the city at that level. could you please ask the Prime Minister if we could have a conversation with Michael Ashley? I want you to understand the order of this thing. We didn't go searching for Michael Ashley. Miss Motley did not go asking, as people are saying, for Michael to come and represent the city. The first request that I heard for Michael to represent the city came from who? The people of the city. And that is as true as John 3:16. And if that was not enough, after I had this conversation with the people of the city, when we determined that Michael had put forward his nomination, because as I tell you, I am serious about this Labour Party, and I am serious about this country, and I am serious about the people that I serve. We will share a border. He will have a part of the Bay land. So I picked up the phone. Y'all may not know this, but I don't make that kind of sport. And I called Michael Ashley. And I said to me, my man, I know that you say you want to represent the city. Tell me what you about. Let me know if you come to play games with the people of the city. Let me know if you come to play games with this Labour Party. And these are the things Michael said to me. Michael said to me, Kirk, first and foremost, I have never seen leadership like Mia Motley in my life. If y'all doubt me, ask you when he come. I tell you that I can tell the story. Ask him when he come. I have never seen the kind of leadership that Mia Motley has brought to this country. You have to admire that. I said, well, we all like Mia Motley. God be more, my man. Michael said, and it is true, we've asked Michael to co-chair a committee in this party for the government and for the people. And that it was such a wonderful opportunity to work for the people of Barbados when he could see a serious government doing serious work on behalf of the people, this government. And he wanted to be part of that. He said to me, Santia, you know I love you. And I don't know you don't know what time it is. All right, they know that. Michael said to me, I like community work. We all know he's a community man, even when he was on the other side. Fair is fair. And that the work that we are doing in the party for the underdogs, for the vulnerable, is the most work that was ever done by any government for the poor and the needy in this country. So I said to him, well, you know, you're winning me over. I'm feeling a little liking for you. But you gotta give me something else, Michael. Because I know that we are doing a good deed, but the people that you have to now go and represent, I have to get Labour Party to feel that they can trust you, my man. And I know, I ain't gonna tell one of the exact question, but I've seen twice. We win the government, 30 seats, and people do all kinds of things. We end at 21. Where you both? I am dedicated to the Barbados Labour Party, was his response. I am dedicated to the city, was his response. And that I will give Sonia Brown my fullest support in St. Philip North, was his response. So Labour, are you ready? Labour, are you ready? Red and ready. So that's what this is about. And we have been taking our time, you know, this Labour Party, because listen to me, this is serious business. I don't intend to speak long, but this is serious business. You may have the misfortune of watching what is presented in Parliament by the opposition on Tuesdays. What you get from the opposition every Tuesday is a performance. But when we go to Parliament, we go to perform on behalf of the people of this country. And I've watched, we've been very quiet doing the people's business, hear me. We've been very decent in doing the people's business. Men saying all kind of things that defeat the Labour Party tongue, stick onto the palate, to the roof of the mouth or something. Well, the dress rehearsal done. The thing now start. The thing now start. So if the feel that what they get in Parliament is all that we got, they have another thing coming. I've seen it. You must have seen it too. Every week now they got something to say about me. Me this. Me is a dictator. Me this. The worst things that they could find to say about Miss Motley. But tell them this for me. Because you know how we roll. Labor. Tell them if they touch we leader. Tell them. They have to touch all of we. All of we. We in this together. And you watch it. We've been very good in government. I've seen this thing circulating about the performance of the Labour Party. So far, about 150 things that we delivered easily. This Labour Party government has performed in government. And I need this Labour Party family to defend this government. And you see now all kind of people who are now representing the other side saying all kind of things. I don't intend to be unkind tonight. I don't intend to be unkind. But we have to call a spade a spade. When I was a new candidate in this Barbados Labour Party, when Davison was a new candidate, when you, Gregory, just now was a new candidate, Cory, Chris, you heard us on political platforms. You saw us canvassing Barbados, bringing the issues to the people, coming with solutions to some of these complex problems. That is how we chose to present ourselves to the public. But the people on this side, the other side, these new ones in the Democratic Labour Party, are looking to take the low road to high office. But you cannot take the low road to high office. And we know that when the time comes, we will make them pay for it. You have not heard a single idea from the Democratic Labour Party. You have not heard a single solution to any of our problems from the Democratic Labour Party. You have not heard a proposal from the Democratic Labour Party. And they want us to believe that they are now ready to lead the country. Y'all saw the video of how the leader of the opposition behaved in Parliament? Y'all heard how he was speaking about Santia Ford? This lame duck and she fluttering and soon dead and people starving. Does that strike you as somebody that ready to lead a country? Does that strike you as somebody that ready to lead a country? So when the time comes, we know what the program is. Vote for who? Vote for who? All the way. And you could ask yourselves, and I don't intend to get into all of it, there will be much time soon. But you could ask yourself, what is it that the Labour Party has done? What has been the leadership style and quality of Miss Motley? Because you are a dictator, Miss Motley, they say. But none of us in Parliament and Cabinet could bring a single bill unless we consult with everybody that got something to do with the bill. And when you hear, me gotta get her due. When you hear the Labour Party gang beat bout because we didn't consult enough, you could bet you bottom dollar, if it is true, that the Prime Minister done beat we bout in Cabinet though. Where you went and talk to so-and-so. Where you went get so-and-so views. Where you went change the bill to appreciate so-and-so. And when in our little own ego space, we say, well, Prime Minister, we get too far, nah, carry it back. Or take it to select committee. What kind of a dictator does that? But on the other hand, you have a man who said because he was interrupted, I was starved, including himself, because the first man to the lunch table was never me, it's always he.
Oh, Lord.
so small again. Anyhow, that for later. I tell one of these dress rehearsal done. The thing now start. Anyhow, but you heard how he get on. He can starve you out. All kind of things. And I'm telling you, we going there to discuss serious business, but because he was speaking, he decided I don't care about nobody, but who he serve out. Not me, himself, but worse than that. They got people who just got to work and serve the food, that God do the thing. He ain't caring about them workers. The clerk of parliament and his team in there, he ain't caring about them. The people that's got to wash up the dishes and things, he ain't care about them. He want to make sure that he get his long time. Talked for 4 hours and said absolutely nothing. The art of doing very little. I said to myself, and I've said it in Parliament, that Ralph is a man at war with himself. He is a man at war with himself. And that no matter what bill we bring to Parliament, he's trying to find something to say for 4 hours. And ladies and gentlemen, this is serious business. You have to ask yourself, as we were made to ask ourselves, if it is in opposition, without any power, that is the way he would choose to conduct himself. What do you think you would get if he ever becomes Prime Minister of this country? It is never going to happen. But I ask you to imagine, and as he imagines, ask yourself, if Mia Mortley was not leading this country during COVID, what would have happened to this country? I can ask you all to ask yourselves a different question. If Frandell Stewart was leading this country during COVID, we done that already. So, ladies and gentlemen, I see my man looking at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have much time, but there's much to say. And soon enough, we will tell you about our performance in every single sector in this country. I ask you to answer this question. Has the Labour Party been good for Barbados? I don't think those on social media could hear you. Has the Labour Party, this Barbados Labour Party, your Barbados Labour Party, been good for Barbados? So I say this to you in very clear conscience because I want to bring Cory to this mic. That's my boy. I want to say this to you in clear conscience. I am you and you are me. I have asked the questions of Michael. I've known Michael for a long time that perhaps you might not have had the opportunity to ask. I question the man. The man subject himself in a humble, calm manner to answer my questions. I want to don't know how it's going on. So I asked Michael these questions on your behalf. And I am satisfied. And I am satisfied that Michael Lashley is the man for the city of Bridgetown. I am satisfied that Michael Lashley is ready to lead, ready to help us with our legal reform, ready to help us with our community programs, and ready to be part of the government that continues to serve you. And as much as I welcome Michael, it breaks my heart to say from Parliament, bye to my brother. Cory and I have a story that is so similar, you would believe that it is not true. His mother, my mother, worked together. His story, in terms of the number of children, the same as my story, in terms of the number of children. His passion for the poor. When me and Cory start to talk sometimes, I like that song. Why I like that song? I like this movie. Why I like that movie? Why I feel like I'm looking at myself. A better looking version of myself. So I am going to miss Cory, but I say to Cory, because I had the opportunity to work with Cory and I know what Cory does, how he works. I know his heart. I know his ethos. I know his ethics. I know the man. And I also took over the crime prevention program from Cory, and I rely on Cory to this day. because the people castigate Cory, but the work that Cory did as head of the crime prevention program is reaping benefit for the country today. Cory, in my mind, you are a giant. And in my heart, you are a friend. And in my soul, you are a good man. And I am happy to call you friend, whether you sit in parliament with me, whether you choose to wear a red shirt with me, or whatever you do. But I bet you better keep on that red shirt, my man. Whatever you do, Cory, I love you. I love what you did for the city, and you are my brother till I am gone from this earth. I welcome you to this podium to address your people and to tell them more about Cory Lane.
Yeah, we can't go forward by looking. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Yeah. Loving the voice of the light we lead.
Honorable City of Bridgetown, my people of the city, Labour Party, Labour Rights, the executive, colleagues, people of Barbados, good evening. Usually, people would tell me, well, I don't believe I gotta come and speak after you, but today I gotta say it in the reverse. I don't know how you expect me to speak after Kirk, but I am here nonetheless to deliver something that I believe is very important for you. I want you to understand the journey. A lot of people feel that I am ducking out too early, and I've been at pains to remind people that this has not been a 3-year journey for me. I may be young, but I've been around very long. I started this journey at a very early age. And I feel like I have gone the full gamut. I started off as a spectator, went on to be an activist, as parish ambassador, etc. Then I went into the commentary booth as a talk show host and moderator. And then I put on my gear and I went on the field of play. And I play some balls, and some balls play me. But nonetheless, it is at this time that I've decided to go back in the pavilion, to regroup and to come again. And you do not have any fear about what shirt I would wear, because I only have one color shirt, and that is red. There are no other shirts in the drawing. So I can tell by the tenor of this meeting that everybody needs to be ready. And I hope that you are ready and that you are fired up and ready to go. Because when Labour leads, I'm glad that you all know that. So for me, although it is very difficult to walk away from one of the best teams I've had the opportunity to serve with, there is a peace in me to know that I am leaving you in great hands, and that my hands are still there with those great hands as I continue to be with the Labour Party, the city of Bridgetown, and with Michael Lashley after he takes the nomination this evening. So it is really time to tell you a sincere thank you, and I want to thank everybody. Yes, everybody. Not just the supporters alone. I want to support all and sundry, every single one of you, for the journey that I have been able to take with you, the opportunity to represent you at the highest level, to be able to bring programs to bear. As an activist, I had the opportunity to advocate for programs. As a talk show host, I get to complain about programs. But as a minister, a parliamentary secretary, I got the opportunity to work with first-class people to deliver programs. As you would know, the 600 program, the One Family program, the crime prevention program, all of these are things that were part of my dream over the last 28 years, and I've had the opportunity to bring them, deliver them, and work with others to keep them coming and to keep them going. So it's always my intention to be short, and even if I wasn't, I have my branch president here who always reminds me to be short, although I'm always short, because I'm not fully 100%, and the devil conspired to make sure he couldn't be here today. He made sure that I didn't have babysitting, so I had to make some alternate arrangement last minute. He made sure that I didn't feel well. but I felt it was 100% important to make sure that I get up out my bed, take my medication, and come down here to say a good big I love you to the city of Bridgetown. I love you to the Barbados Labour Party. And this is not goodbye. This is see you later. I love you and all the best in the elections. Thank you very much.
When Labour leads, Belgium succeed. Loving the voice of the light we lead. But one another do good to me. All together now. When we lead, Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go. New day break and we rise and shine.
Cory, you are a passionate young man. And the truth be told, is I first met Cory when he ran the Nature Fund Ranch, which was dedicated to at-risk youth. And at that time, my father and I partnered with him. This was years ago. My dad being a horse race owner, remember that, Cory? Yeah, sure. They partnered together to help those children. And Cory, I can tell you right now, this party has your back. Because this Barbados Labour Party, as Kirk said, all for one and one for all. So comrades, without further ado, I would like to welcome Comrade Dr. Jerome Walcott. Oh, Reggie, you're right, sorry. The Honorable Reginald Forley to conduct the nomination.
Right. Take this side. Step by step, we meet the need. Okay.
Comrades, comrades, comrades. Just like you have been enjoying the speeches, the Labour Party is ready and ready. But there will be more speeches. But we are here for the business. And amidst the business, we'll get fired up, we'll get information, we'll hear our leaders. And what is the business? To nominate a candidate for the city of Bridgetown. And I want to join as chairman of this great party in thanking outgoing Member of Parliament Cory Lane for his service to this party through this constituency. And we know, as he said, this is just a see you later. But he will be on the ground, working with us every step along the way in this and other areas. But let me outline the process. Remember, the Labour Party is no fly-by-night institution run by the seat of the pants. This is the oldest political party in the Caribbean, and we are run by rules. Every nomination in all the last many elections run by the same rules. There are no special rules. We don't do coronations in this Labour Party. You get nominated and you earn your way by the will of the people of the constituency. So I'm so happy to see all the many of you coming from all the constituencies. But only the people of the city of Bridgetown branch have a voice in this part of the meeting. And what do I mean? I will be inviting nominations to be made on behalf of anyone who wants to be a candidate for the city of Bridgetown. That nomination must be made by a member of the branch of the city. Our CEO has the branch list, and that name will be checked. So the process, you'll go to the microphone right there in the middle of the room, you give your name, we'll check to see that you're a member, and you nominate. And we'll take as many nominations as you care to give. We have all evening to sort them all out. Each nomination, however, requires a seconder to be valid. And the seconder must come, state their name, we'll check the name to confirm that you're a member, and that nomination becomes valid. The proposer of each candidate may speak on behalf of that candidate and convince us to vote for that candidate as a branch for 3 minutes. When all of the proposers of candidates have spoken for their 3 minutes each, however many there may be, we have all night, we will then allow each of the nominated candidates to speak for 5 minutes each, as may be required. After that, we have made all provisions for there to be voting. The ballot boxes are ready. We have the list. We have the rooms available, and we'll give those details of the location and the rooms for the various brackets by A to J, etc., for voting as may be required. The results will be given after the ballots are brought here and counted, and we will then proclaim whomever is the winner, the candidate for our city constituency. Is that clear to everyone? Wonderful. So, let me therefore invite nominations for a candidate to represent the city of Bridgetown for the Barbados Labour Party in the next general elections, whenever that may be called. Are there any nominations? Just go to the microphone, ma'am, right there. All right, some songmen, the microphone in the center. Try it again. There we go. Come up here, please. You come this way. You will greatly enhance my image by sharing the same podium.
Good evening, comrades. Good evening. My name is Undine Brown, City of Bridgetown.
Let's double check that. Come from your membership. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Ms. Brown.
And I am here to be the proposer for Michael Lashley.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. Is there a seconder for that proposal? Please come forward, state your name.
Good night, everybody. My name is Kerry Bethune, and I second. Bethune, Kyriebethune. I know.
Thank you very much. We have one valid nomination. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? If there are, please come forward. For the final time, are there any other nominations? Could I get a proposal from a member of the city branch that nominations be closed? Any proposer and a seconder? Reverend Curtin is a member of the city branch. Is there a seconder for that proposal? What's your name, sir? Mohammed Pandor. Is there any objection to the proposal that nominations be closed? There being none, I declare nominations closed. And I also declare that this City of Bridgetown branch has duly nominated Mr. Michael Lashley as their candidate for election on behalf of the Barbados Labour Party in the next general election. And of course, as is expected, the candidate will come forward and make his acceptance speech. Music.
City of Bridgetown, Michael Lashley represents you. So get out early and vote. Cause you know when you get out early and vote, that's how you're gonna give your support. People first, always. Barbados Labour Party, you ready? I wanna hear say yes, I wanna hear say yes. City of Bridgetown, you ready? I wanna hear say yes, I wanna hear say yes. Uptown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear say yes, I wanna hear say yes. Downtown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear say yes, I wanna hear say yes. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash, Lily. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for situation. Come everybody join hand in hand. Bobby. City of Bridgetown, Michael Ashley represents you. So get out early and vote. Cause you know when you get out early and vote, that's how you're gonna give your support. People first, always. Bobby, this Labour Party, you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. City of Bridgetown, you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Uptown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Downtown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, call him the bossy poor people governor. Man with the plan for each and everyone. Michael is ready for your situation. Come everybody join hand in hand. Bobby, this Labour Party winning this election. Come, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, yes, the Bridgetown Massive, they're ready. And the Uptown Massive, they're ready. Yes, the Downtown Massive, they're ready. You don't know Michael Lash, we ready. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, Barbados Labour Party, you ready? Yeah. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Barbados Labour Party, you ready? Yeah. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. City of Bridgetown, Michael Ashley represent always. Bobby, this Labour Party, you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. City of Bridgetown, you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Uptown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Downtown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear you say yes, I wanna hear you say yes. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, call him the bossy poor people governor. Man with the plan for each and everyone. Michael is ready for your situation. Come everybody join hand in hand. Bobby, this Labour Party winning this election. Come, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily,
Please welcome the next candidate for the city of Bridgetown in the next general election, Michael Ashley.
Vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, Barbados Labour Party, you ready? Yeah. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Barbados Labour Party, you ready? Yeah. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Ashley your support. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, 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 vote for Michael. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Barbados Labour Party, you ready? Yeah. City of Bridgetown, you ready? Yeah. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, 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 vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Lashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Lashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Lashley your support. Everybody come out early and vote. Give Michael Lashley your support. Vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, vote for Michael, vote for Michael, vote for Michael Lash. Lily, Michael Lashley for the city of Bridgetown and the Barbados Labour Party.
Ready? Thank you, thank you. My voice is not in order, but I know the Barbados Labour Party is in order. I saw something already. Some mints. And I know. Let me take some water. Might need to engage the services of Dr. Brown shortly. Of course, I don't know how much the fee will be, but I believe I can ask my good friend, Mr. Kerry Simmons, to assist me if I'm a little short. I'm completely overjoyed and overwhelmed tonight by the reception and indeed the love that has poured from you. This has been a journey. I want to thank the party leader, Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mayor Amor Motley, the General Secretary, Honorable Jerome Walker, other senior party officials, members of my Barbados Labour Party family, my political brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Only this morning, a dame went by my house and he asked me if I have any rat poison at home. I asked where he's going to take the rat poison, what he's going to do with it. He said he's going to cross someplace out Belleville. I said, well, I am not getting involved in that. I do not work on Saturdays. So if something happened, you might have to call on my associates. Kerry, you know, I can't wait, Kerry. I can't wait, Kerry. But indeed, I'm here tonight and I must offer my sincerest gratitude to the city of Bridgetown, the branch members, thank you, for nominating me and indeed reposing the confidence in me. Indeed, I'm humbled by this experience. And you know, I really want to rest my voice, I don't want to rush through. And plus I have to go to court on Monday and do a trial too. But let me say, I came to politics as a young man. I'm still a young man. Back in 1986. And then in 2003, thank you, Mr. Tibbs, St. Philip family. And in 2003, I decided to contest an election. First time. And I was successful. I was successful because I was grounded in the community and grounded with a passion to help the poor and the vulnerable. Yes, I defeated a political giant at the time, but all it calls for is hard work, dedication, and love for poor people. I'm very grateful to the people of St. Philip North for their contribution to my development, for their contribution not only to my political development, but also to my development in my law practice. And I want to thank them for their support throughout the years. I believe that they have what it takes to assist those vulnerable groups in the city. I work in my law practice from about 1995 or thereabouts in the city of Bridgetown. And I decided that when I go in the courtyard, instead of turning right to go up to the High Court of Civil, I turned the other way. I went in the Magistrate's Court to defend the rights of ordinary people in this country. Yes, Kerry. And you used to be behind me, or I behind you. And of course, I built that. I built that in me, and it carried through to my political development. And I want to say to you that whatever I do in politics comes from my heart and not for personal gain. Politics is a service. And indeed, one might ask why I'm here tonight. The reason I'm here tonight, because the country needs the type of leadership that the Prime Minister is exhibiting at this time. Thank you. And so I want to thank her for her vision and the style of leadership that have redounded to the benefit of Barbadians. And we must give her a round of applause for that. But of course, when I go back to my political journey, if one check the votes, I believe I had the most votes when they ran in any election. In fact, last election, 2022. But you know, I know how to get votes. I know how to canvass. I have the experience. So I know I'll be working in St. Philip North too. And I will do my best to bring home the seat for the Barbados Labour Party in St. Philip North. I want to say that when I was called upon to sit on the Citizen Advisory Council by the Prime Minister, I accepted it. And there was a reason I accepted it. Because she said to me, I need your input and your skills in how we're going to improve the criminal justice system of Barbados. And so I answered the call. I became co-chair, worked along with my friend, Mr. Farley, and we did a lot of work, tremendous work. And I really want to congratulate the members of that council for the hard work that they have done. I've often said, I said things that are controversial. I said things that we must look at. And when I go in the courts daily, my brain trigger, what can we do to improve the criminal justice system? What can we do to assist those young people that are coming into contact with the criminal justice system daily? And so it is my vision, particularly in St. Michael, in the city of Bridgetown, to bring programs so that we could embrace them, because I always believe that a man deserves a second chance. I might say something controversial, but I keep on saying that in the Barbados at this time, that poor people in this country need to be protected by the state. And the reason I say that, because only this week was a 16-year-old boy before the magistrate, no lawyer, and the magistrate decided, I think I will remind you that was the first offense. They jump up as amicus curiae for the brief or anything and appeared for that youngster. The reason I say that is that because we have a community legal aid system in Barbados that only kicks in when that person appears in court. And my vision for the legal aid is for that legal aid to kick in at the police station. To protect the rights, not only of the individual, but to protect the rights of the state. And when they asked me if we really have legal aid, I said, I don't consider it to be legal aid because it only kicks in when the person is charged and when a man of straw is arrested by the police. You don't have the money to pay a lawyer like Kerry Simmons that can charge, that person is left out to sea. And then we're talking about serious politics and serious innovations in the criminal justice system. This is what I want to bring to the Barbados Labour Party. I believe that the issue of housing in the city is important. When I was Minister of Housing, I decided to acquire lands at Mason Hall Street and White Park Road. The reason for that is because as a minister traveling out through the city, I recognize the state and condition of public housing and housing in the city. I recall the day I went with another minister walking through someone's home, and he was behind me. I walk along, and when I look back, he disappeared. Fell through the flooring, couldn't find him. Using that as an example of the state of housing that I believe that we need to touch and we need to really deal with as soon as possible. As soon as possible. The issue of the tenantries in the urban corridor, and that we need to get those conveyances and titles into people's hands. And that is important that a man understand and, of course, receive his just due that is owning a piece of this rock. And so we need to look at the urban tenantries very, very seriously. I recall that even as Minister of Housing, that a lot of people in Barbados did not understand their rights on the tenantries freehold act. And so I embarked on a program of education, how they can assert their rights as a tenant living on tenantry land. And those things are important because the rich don't live on tenantry land. It's the poor and the vulnerable that live on tenantry land. So how we can find ways to fast track that, I think it will be important so that we can move ahead with our property owning democracy. However, I know my voice is really going. I attended the doctor this morning. I tried my best. Well, let me say this finally. That I intend to work hard. I worked hard in St. Philip for those 15 years. And I was really amazed that on Friday, after going out in the city, and we did a little cleanup, and then somebody sent me, because people came to me and complained of the rats in this area.
Oh Lord!
I wish my voice was good tonight, boy. If my voice was good, boy. Wow. So then, all of a sudden, something came to my phone that Michael Ashley using the state resources to clean up rats. Well, I said to them, if you realize that I am so good at it, you can also engage my services to go up to George Street. But there will come a time when my voice is back in order. And when I use some homemade remedies to get this voice back together, hoping to get it back together by Monday, because I know you have to do a trial. And so I don't want to put pressure on this voice. In conclusion, I want to thank you so much for your tremendous support. I want to thank you for the love that you have showered upon me. And I want to tell you, this is Michael Ashley. And I want to say to the Honorable Mayor Motley, this is Michael Ashley reporting to duty. And before I close, Mr. Simmons, I have something that fall off of the back of a truck for you. But we will speak in private about that so that you will keep within the full confines of the law of defamation. But I have it. I have it. I put it in my back pocket. Whenever they fall off a truck. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
You ready? I wanna hear say yes. I wanna hear say yes. City of Bridgetown, you ready? I wanna hear say yes. I wanna hear say yes. Uptown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear say yes. I wanna hear say yes. Downtown Massive, are you ready? I wanna hear say yes. I wanna hear say yes. Vote for Michael. Vote for Michael. Vote for Michael. Lash. Lily. Vote for Michael. Vote for Michael. Vote for Michael. Lash. Lily. Call him the bossy poor people governor. Man with the plan for each and everyone. Michael is ready for your situation. Come everybody join hand in hand. Barbados Labour Party winning this election. Come vote for Michael. Vote for Michael. Vote for Michael.
Comrades, I want to welcome Comrade Michael Lashley to the BLP family. Now, Comrade Michael, I think you're going to fit right in. Because the Barbados Labour Party is the party of empowerment. Comrade Kirk, congratulations for executing the Social Empowerment Act. This is going to be a tremendous tool of empowerment for our people. Comrade Kerry, the Vendors Bill Act was a tremendous tool of empowerment for the people of the city of Bridgetown. Comrade Colin, the Family Leave Act was also a tool of empowerment. Before I go on, I want to apologize to the people downstairs because we're experiencing some technical difficulties. We shall resolve them soon. But this is the party of empowerment. We have also empowered Ralph Thorne. We empowered him with a seat. But Comrade Michael, we got a solution for that. Now you talked about rodent control. The best rodent control for the rat is Comrade Charles Griffith. Because Comrade Charles Griffiths can deliver some blows to the rat in St. John. Kerry, I hope I didn't see your thunder. I hope I didn't see your thunder, because that's really your kind of style. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Comrade Kerry Simmons to the podium.
When labor leads Belgium succeed. No baby voice on the light we lead. Hold one another, do good indeed. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go, let me go, let me go.
City of Bridgetown, when you're red and ready. It looked to me like when you're red and ready to roll with Mikey. Mikey for the city. What? Mikey for the city and the city for the BLP. I want to begin by recognizing Marva, Michael's sister. Sweetheart, raise your hand so everybody will be able to see you. There's a second one. What is your name, my dear? I can't hear. Sonia. Well, welcome, Sonia, as well. And a brother, too. Welcome, my friend. The whole family is here. Jerome, behave. Now, comrades, I must begin appropriately by recognizing my friend and comrade and brother forever. We gone, he ain't here no more, Cory. You went outside? But big respect to you, Cory, and thank you for your service to the city of Bridgetown, to the people of Barbados, and to the Barbados Labour Party. And comrades, it is a wonderful thing that we are doing tonight. And let me say to you that I know this man Mikey Lashley for a long, long time. I would have met Mikey, I think it would have been at University of the West Indies when I would have been doing my second degree. Man, putting me in trouble. No, it was UWA. I was doing my second degree. I was actually tutoring as well, and I believe Michael was in one of my tutorials. And then we went through the Faculty of Law and went on to Trinidad. I cooked food for that man. All the family members here tonight, I want to know when I send Michael to Trinidad and Mikey could not cook. So
Lord!
I had to help look out for him. And Chief Magistrate, as he now is, Ian Weeks, another good man. And you know how it would have been back then, because we both had hair at that time. And we were, but we still are, 6 foot tall. And we were, I think, relatively athletic at that time, Mikey. I don't know if you still are. And, we were imbued with a common weakness, to tell you the truth. And because this is a night where a lot of people are out and I don't want to behave badly, I would suffice to say, Sandra, they're saying, please don't, please don't. I would suffice to say that it was a weakness for sweetness. So I know Mikey a long time, and I know that there would have been, I am asked to urge the driver of O2753 to recognize that someone needs to be able to get out, and you need to attend to your vehicle urgently, please. O2753, O2753. Oh, where was I? Now I can't remember. Sandra, tell me don't behave bad, but I was, pardon? A weakness for, oh Lord have mercy. You ain't letting that go in there. I was going to move past that. Because as you would appreciate young men and things, and not me, because in Trinidad, girls interfere with me. I, of course, would have to interfere back. That's expected. And I have good reason to believe that the same thing happened with Michael. And then when we came back to Barbados, there were one or two who could not decide if they wanted to interfere with Kerry or interfere with Michael, so interfere with both.
Oh, Lord!
But comrades, I say all of that to say to you that I know this man well. And when Michael stands here and tells you that he is committing heart and soul to this cause, I believe Michael says so with heart and soul full of commitment to this cause, to fight forever on behalf of the Barbados Labour Party. And what we saw during the course of the last 48 hours, comrades, is something that is almost unimaginable. Because it was on Thursday night that Tyra, I saw Tyra in here. Where she is? Where is she? She's still in here? Tyra, and let me welcome you to the team BLP, Tyra, officially. Because we might have unfair you a little bit that you really didn't get in the big law speeches and things on your big night, but welcome to team BLP, as we must also welcome Michael to team BLP. And comrades, Tyra and Michael represent 2 generations of Democratic Labour Party politics. And they represent 2 of the most able and capable in each of the generation. And I want you to look upon the 2 of them and remember a man named Dr. Ronnie Yearwood. And Ronnie was a little stiff and a little awkward, but Ronnie is a fella with some skills. And you can't doubt that Tyra is a woman that got some skills. Tyra led the Young Democrats, so she would have had to have been among the best that the Young Democrats had to offer. And you only go look in the newspaper any day of the week and see Mikey Lashley, obviously you heard him tonight. The man got some skills and an understanding of the legal system and the criminal justice system in Barbados. And think back to a woman named Tricia Watson. Trisha might be a little bit too arrogant, but Trisha got skills. You gotta give Jack his jacket and Jill her jacket. That is a fact. And remember Undine Whitaker, a woman, a little bit older, but Undine is a woman with skills. And I could go on and on, because as Mighty Sparrow said, 6,000 Frenchmen can be wrong. All of them so can be at fault, but they have one thing in common, comrades, and that is A-R-A-T, Ralph Anthony Thorne. I don't know what you all were spelling. I was giving you initials. And you know the arrogance of a man who would take an 85-year-old woman who put money out of her pocket to build the George Street Auditorium and slam a gate in her face and say she's not welcome to come in, not even to pass water. Tells you the contempt that he has for ordinary people in Barbados. And his lust for unrivaled power. And all this talk about autocracy and dictatorship and so on is to mesmerize you and confuse you and mama guy, as they were saying in Trinidad. Because if there's anybody who is dictatorial in Barbados, it is he. And comrades, I feel it is necessary for us to realize that we are at a stage where we have to be very, very clear. We got to protect and shield Barbados from that individual. And for people who feel that the way he's operating is the way Barbados needs to go. And these are dread times. These times are dreader than dread. And I say to you tonight that if the best that the Democratic Labour Party had to offer come to us and say, we want to work with you, then in the interest of Barbados, we need to work with the best that the Democratic Labour Party had to offer. And if you doubt me that these times are dread, recognize that next week, the people in Antigua, the people in Dominica, and I hear also perhaps the people in Grenada are going to be confronted with the reality that if you are a vendor and you want to go and get a little product, you want to go and buy some clothes, you want to be able to put yourself in a position where you can earn your living by going to get the product you're selling. Or if you are doing some hair braiding, you want to go and get the hair. Or if it is that you want to do anything to advance your little business, small business, as so many of us in the Caribbean have done, that to go to the United States of America, you now got to put down 15,000 United States dollars for a visa. And if you can't get that, don't come. The way in which the world we grew up in operated is no longer the world today. And let me get that straight. And if you still doubt me, remember what you see last night or should have seen last night and night before and the night before that, if you watch the TV coming out of that country. That land of the free and the home of the brave. Where on the streets of major cities, masked men shooting people in the face, picking you up and dragging you into a van and you disappear. And I want you to think of this. What about the society? What is the Barbados that we might be confronted with later this year? Folks, let me be real. The Barbados that we could be confronted with, or the Caribbean we could be confronted with. And I don't want the media to say that I call in the figure of people from Barbados who are up there and they make themselves proper. I am pulling random figures from the air. But you know that they got some Bajans up there that ain't put themselves right. And if 2,000 arrive one day or 1 week, where we gonna house them? If 2,000 arrive 1 week, what we doing now to assimilate them into this society? You understand the measure of the problem that is at your doorstep? on the doorstep of countries 100 miles and 150 miles away from Barbados, in a closely knit set of islands in the Caribbean. The world is a different world, comrades. And then a fella in the Democratic Labour Party, not a fella running about like the pipers of Hamelin. And if you remember the story, blowing a flute enough rats. And not one single issue of this nature is being discussed by them. And it is a real challenge. And if you still doubt me, remember that 2 weeks ago, today is Saturday, it was 14 days ago that we wake up a morning and hear that JetBlue can't land in Barbados and get turned back by the Air Force. We hear American Airlines get turned back. You understand? Military planes telling the ordinary commercial planes that bringing in tourists. And immediately, the whole ecosystem of this country went into confusion because hotels that had people checking out, they had nobody coming in. And 1,000 people or 200, 300, 400 people at a time up at the airport. Where am I to sleep tonight? And this party had to move with alacrity to find a way to fix a problem that we went sleep the night before and never imagined we would wake up and be confronted with, but we fixed it. And you feel anybody that led by Ralph Thorne or Ralph Thorne himself could have fixed it? Let me get real about what's coming down the pipe, my people. And all of that happening a couple miles away from us. That's the Barbados that we must now decide how it can get governed. That's the Barbados. And I say to you, this isn't a time to gamble with your destiny. We have proven hands in Mayor Motley. We have proven, tested, and tried leadership in Mayor Motley. Do not gamble with your future. Let me say that again. Do not gamble with your future. And if you have doubts, if you still have doubts, I want to tell you I know the man well. I live 7 houses away from Ralph Anthony Thorne. Yes, you may feel a little pain for me because my bill for the exterminator is large. But a year and a half ago, we hosted the men's T20 World Cup. Michael Ashley, you had a constituency for years. If somebody tell you that they wanted to spend $5 million a year constituency, could you tell them no? Santia Bradshaw, you are a constituency. Anybody ever tell you they want to spend $5 million a year constituency? Well, I can tell you something, no. When they will go push me down, lock me down, tie me up, and half kill me. $5 million in St. James Central, I would go mad behind it. Okay. So, my friends, we had a situation where the man said no. And what did he say no to? That we want to do something for the vendors. That we want to refurbish kiosks that they're breaking down. Repaint kiosks to make them look good. That we want them a nicer Austin. Make it a fine entertainment center. And ladies and gentlemen, the man said no to helping small, poor black people. That is the level of contempt that is fair. When a man show you what he is, believe him. And tonight, my friends, I can't talk long. Yes, William reminds me that we asked him what the problem is. That the tent red, the benches got in red. That was the level of mulish ignorance that was visited on the people of Barbados and the constituency that he represents. Mulish ignorance. And I can't stop long because tonight is not about that, but we will have plenty of time to elaborate. I want to say to you that tonight is an important night because it starts. And if they had a bell, I would ask for it to ring the bell. Because we ring the bell. Because the Prime Minister come in and she need to hear that one I want to hear the bell ring. It makes sense keeping this country to a point where it is ungovernable. That a man that ain't ready, a man that ain't got an idea, a man that is only in this because he dislike personally the Prime Minister, a man that feel he should get put in a position that he wasn't put in, and I don't know any real man that does get vexed himself because a woman ain't put he in a position.
Oh Lord.
I want to tell you, City of Bridgetown, when I got a champion horse, back it to the hill, back the Barbados Labour Party, the Barbados Labour Party now, the Barbados Labour Party tomorrow, the Barbados Labour Party, my friends. Good night and God bless.
Barbados Labour Party family. What a team, huh? What a team. And this team getting stronger. Our next speaker tonight is Comrade Santia Bradshaw.
Whoa. When labor leads Belgium succeed. Yes. Loving the voice of the life we lead. All together now. When we lead Belgium succeed. Let me go.
Good night to the city of Bridgetown. Good night to my Barbados Labour Party family. Good night to Barbados. Michael Ashley said he has reported for duty. Tyra Trotman reported for duty 2 nights ago. Kerry Simmons has reported for duty tonight. Chris Gibbs has reported from this platform for duty. Kirk Humphrey has reported for duty. And I looking at the front row and I seeing all the rest of my colleagues. We have reported for duty by Minister Motley. Call the election now. I asked myself, as I was coming here tonight, what is it that has drawn Michael Ashley and Tyra Trotman to the Barbados Labour Party? What is that? The family? Well, Michael put it the right way. Michael said that he is here because of the leadership of the Barbados Labour Party. A leadership that has stood firm, that has told us to stay the course, that has taken us out of the downgrades and put us back where Barbados is recognized again by our Caribbean brothers. A leader who has taken us back to the levels of unemployment that we enjoyed prior to 2008. And I say to you tonight, Michael Ashley, that I forgive you. I forgive you because you gave me licks when we was in opposition. But you are here tonight as a man coming to the people to represent the people of the city of Bridgetown. And I know that in the same way you gave us licks, that once you are in the bosom of the Barbados Labour Party, you're going to share the licks, you're going to share the licks, and you're going to share the licks. And you are going to run the rat out of the Parliament of Barbados. As for you, Tyra, I want to thank you as well for your humility, because everybody deserves a second chance. And I could not stand here tonight and not be true to my first principles. From the time I came to this Barbados Labour Party, no matter what I have said on any platform, I have always said that the Barbados Labour Party is a Barbados Labour Party for all Barbadians. I have also said, and I believe this in my bosom, that all of the talent will not be found in the Barbados Labour Party. We must draw on the talent from wherever it must come. And we must do so without the fear of rancor and division in this Barbados Labour Party. And you see that word leadership? We got a boss leader leading this Barbados Labour Party. Because I will not stand here and tell you that sometimes we don't say, well, we ain't so sure, PM, if you're making the right move. Or we ain't so sure how the public can react. But one thing we have accepted is that the Prime Minister's vision for this country and this party is sound. And all of us will line up to get rid of that rat out of town. Because, Michael, you know that when we were in opposition, the level of debate was here. People respected the Speaker of the House of Assembly. People sat when the Speaker spoke. Yes, we had asides across the floor. But the one thing we did not do is try to disrespect each other. We did not try to misrepresent what people say. We made sure that even if we had differences of political opinion, that we did so with taste. We represented our philosophical positions with a level of character. What we have had to resort to in the House of Assembly is nothing in the history of this country that we have ever seen. Sometimes I say to my colleagues, man, bring back Joe, because this man is a joker. I would take Joe Atherley any day over what this Barbados Labour Party government has had to be subjected to in terms of the level of debate in this country. So I understand when you say leadership must matter, Michael. I also understand when Tyra speaks to it. Because what has passed for leadership of the Democratic Labour Party recently, good God, I can't blame one. And I know that when you look at the record of this party in housing, because you were the Minister for Housing, I know that there are things that, as you said, you implemented, Michael. But you've also seen the record of this Barbados Labour Party doing its best to make sure that poor people get housing, that middle class people get housing, that we can lift people up from where they are and give them a piece of the rock. You can see that even if you started something, that this Barbados Labour Party has hit the ground running and continued it. We have not come and dismantled anything that Michael and his team did before us, because we understand leadership. And I feel that you also come across here because you realize that I've beaten your record in roads.
Oh, Lord.
This Barbados Labour Party, don't mind the potholes, we got that covered. Right? As PM is saying, you're going to give she a little fiscal space to do what she got to do. And I want Ralph Thorne to understand we ain't ordered pothole patching machines last week, because they take time to order and to procure. But I know he would not understand the process because he has never sat in a cabinet of Barbados, and he never will. That is a fact. We ordered the things because as a party we have planned. We understand that we got to maintain the roads, that we have to do things differently. We understand that it is not enough to tell people where your vehicle drop in a pothole and, well, is a transient inconvenience that you must experience. We have tried repeatedly from the Prime Minister back down because of her championing climate leadership to explain to this country and to the world that we are living in different times. And therefore, what may have obtained when Michael was minister cannot be the same basis upon which this administration addresses infrastructure, in particular road infrastructure. So I know to hold the belly when we bring 35 buses to add to the already existing fleet, which takes our electric bus fleet to 121 buses in this country. The largest in this part of the Western Hemisphere. They want to compete with us. Our record is clear, and that is why he is here. That is why Tyra is here. That is why all the others are waking up and saying, you can say what you like about the Labour Party. At least they listen, and at least they have the heart of the Barbadian public with them. We have also made sure, and Michael, I'm going to come for you again. All those files that you perhaps were asking your leader back then to address, we pick up everyone from William to Ian to myself, and we have dusted them off. And we will continue to do so. You know, I am not going to announce all the roads and the highways that are starting. One of them start in Crab Hill on Friday, yesterday. I am not going to announce them all here. But I want to tell you that it is not because of any election that roadworks is about to start between January and June of this year. It is because this Barbados Labour Party, because of its leadership, has taken a position that we will plan the infrastructure program to make sure that we are able to deliver on the promises that we have made to the country. So I want to tell Ralph Thorne tonight and the Democratic Labour Party, the best is yet to come of this government. 2026 is the year for us to reap the hard work that the Prime Minister has made us do in Cabinet, with sleepless nights and tireless days upon us, to make sure that we have been clinical and laser-like to be able to deliver on the things that this country has asked us to do. We still have things to fix, and we are not running from the things that we have to fix. But 2026 is the year when you will see the Barbados Labour Party and this administration deliver on the things that we have said that we are going to do. And it is not because of any election. When you see road work starting, I want the Barbados Labour Party Army and the people of Barbados to understand. We have changed the model for when we do road works in this country. And we have changed it because our dry season essentially is January to June. Up to the end of December, I was still getting calls about flooding and all kinds of issues in Barbados. We have never had that situation before. And therefore, when they see activity, I want our foot soldiers to make sure that you understand that we have started the road works. We are going to continue the road works. We're going to dig up the roads. We're going to put back down roads. And we're going to deliver to the people of Barbados who have given us the confidence to be able to lead. I'm going to talk to you about the bridges, because we have done the bridges. Michael, you know about the 1984 Didier study. We dust it off. And we went back to the drawing board to make sure that we can repair bridges across from Bridgetown to the Scotland district. Because we do not believe in leaving documents idle and spending money simply for people to benefit from consultancies. But we have put to the task the ministry to make sure that we can clinically assess and then be able in 2026 and going forward to deal with the issues of infrastructure. So I want tonight that you all do not be dismayed. Tonight is a happy night for the Barbados Labour Party. Prime Minister, we are ready. We are ready. You can call it tonight. You can call it Wednesday when we meet down Checker Hall. You can call it the end of the month. Prime Minister, the Barbados Labour Party team is reporting for duty, and its people are ready to send a message to Ralph Thorne and the Democratic Labour Party that leadership must matter in this country. So tonight, Michael, this is your nomination. I want to thank you for being, I know your voice bad, but I'm looking forward to you on the platform. And I think we all are looking forward to it on the platform, yourself and Tyra. And I want to say to you, I expect that you, and I want you to know, that while we welcome you into the bosom of the Barbados Labour Party, we will not hesitate to treat you the way we treat the rat if you don't follow the orders and the way of the Barbados Labour Party. Because we had to do what we had to do with Ralph Thorne, because this is a man that stood with us. And then one day, after not coming to Parliament at all, after having 2 cell phones that as leader of government business, I did not have one of the numbers for, so I could never reach him, wants to make the people of this country believe that he cares about them. And I don't mind the critique of the things that the party does, because everything we don't always get right. But what I don't understand and what I do not respect is that a man that signed off on the policies of the Barbados Labour Party, a man who walked with us, can then turn around and believe that he could now go, leave Christchurch South, and go to St. John to ask the people of St. John to make him the next representative. Well, I want to tell one tonight. On both sides of my family, my mother's side is the Red Legs of St. John. On the other side is Brady, the agricultural class. Ralph Thorne, the message must go out tonight. I am coming for you. Because my people and my family in St. John must understand and know that rats don't belong in the parish of St. John.
Oh, Lord.
And we will stand by Charles Griffith, who I know was able to upset the apple cart and take down a Democratic Labour Party seat last time, and to bring the army of the Barbados Labour Party into St. John to make sure that there are no rats remaining in that constituency when we are done. When I think this, you see, we have gotten to a point in our history, political history, where people don't take us seriously as politicians. Because we watch people cross from one side to the other. And that is why I say to you, this Barbados Labour Party has been strengthened by the likes of Kerry Simmons, Ambassador Maskell, Trevor Prescott, who we embraced and we brought into the Barbados Labour Party because we recognized their might. Rudy Grant, and the list goes on. Because it is not only those who served on a political platform that we have embraced in our bosom, but it is all others at different levels who serve on the boards. Persons who we determine that they have to help us to lead particular areas because we may not have all the talent in the Barbados Labour Party. I want you to understand tonight that while sometimes it may not sit well in the bosom, in your craw, that this Barbados Labour Party has had a record of people crossing the floor and bringing stellar representation and contributions to the Barbados Labour Party and to this country. And that is why I say we will hold them to account, because this is not anybody's playground. This is the Barbados Labour Party, birthed by Sir Grantley Adams, and run by all of the successive leaders that we have had to be able to make life better for all Barbadians. So together we will go forward in unity. When that roll is called, we're going to be standing tall up, because that is how we do it in the Barbados Labour Party. So I ask you tonight to get ready. Get ready, get ready. You wanna ready? I cannot hear you. Is the Barbados Labour Party ready? Mr. DJ, the Barbados Labour Party is ready. When Labour leads, vision succeed. Thank you, Barbados Labour Party.
New day break, we rise and shine. Small island, but big design. Big design.
On your feet, Barbados Labour Party.
One another plant good seeds.
On the red track, keep it like that. Yeah. We can't go forward by looking back. No. Heads up, hearts up, vibe will be. Link up, push up, unity. Yeah.
When Labour leads, Belgium succeed.
Correct.
Loving the voice of the life we lead. Put something up in the air. One another do good indeed. When we lead, Belgium succeed. Rain or sun, we find a way.
Every day.
Live
Let me hear you when Labour leads.
That's right. From country to tongue, we move.
One.
Every morning work is done.
Not two, nor choose.
On the right track, keep it like that. Can't go forward by looking back. Heads up, hearts up, vibrant beat. Link up, push up, unity.
Tell me where we headed. Forward. Forward up. Tell me what we need.
I want you to join me tonight in welcoming the leader of the Barbados Labour Party, the leader who continues to represent this country on the global stage, a leader who has demonstrated that she is a leader for the times. I want you to join me in welcoming to this meeting Mia Amor Motley, who is going to take us for another term of leadership of this country, to continue what we have started, to build on the foundation that we have laid. Barbados Labour Party, let me hear you. I know PM is making her way up the stairs. Mr. DJ, just loop that again. Okay. All right, so she's not at the stairs yet. So let me keep it going. When Labour leads, people. Mr. DJ, bring it from the top again. Volume. I want you all to sing along, please.
Again. When the BLP in power, we smiling again. Labour people, represent with your hand in the air. Put 'em up. Yo!
Election is the time you love to meet up with all my friends. Must be a Motley and Bees bound there. The country winning. Me and people represent with your hand in the air. Let's go.
Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles 'cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party.
It could be COVID or a threat. Me and God be set. Is action you want, then real action you go get, because you, me, we are the heart of the country. Start to jump.
Vision strong and pumping up.
Cause we got the team that winning, every single body winning, energy and vibes winning.
then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country. Start the drum. We just up and pump it, pump it up, pump it, pump it up, pump it, pump it up, pump it. Cause we got the team that winning, every single body winning, energy and vibes winning, winning, winning. We just up and pump it, pump it up, pump it, pump it up, pump it, pump it up, pump it. Cause we got the team that winning, every single body winning, energy and vibes winning, winning, winning. Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party. It could be COVID or a threat. Me, I got me set. Is action you want? Then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country.
Cease and settle and sit. I suspect that you don't only want to see this, but you will soon want to hear me. But until such time as I go to the podium and speak, I want to say that it has been my absolute honor to be able to bring these two good people from St. Philip together in a common purpose that I will soon shortly address you on. Welcome. Sonia, continue. And let it be known that in this party there are many rooms, and we are going to make sure that there is space for everybody. God bless you all. Have a seat. Can you hear me? Are you red and ready? Are you red and ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this is an overwhelming turnout and an appreciation of love and readiness that I could not have expected or dreamt for. As fate would have it, if you were to ask where my ancestral navel string is buried, it is in the city of Bridgetown. And as fate would have it, we come to Bridgetown on this evening to be able to continue the work of this party, recognizing that which Grantley Adams fought for was to bring democracy to a people and a country that was downtrodden for centuries and that simply were not seen, were not felt, and were not heard. And over the course of the last 80 7 years, this year going into our 88th, we have tried as a political institution to be faithful to those principles. There have been times along the way, like in the human life, where we may have faltered. And when we do, we get back up and we pay penance and we commit again and we move forward. And on those times when we have faltered, the people have told us, you're not quite ready. And we listened and we continued. But throughout it all has been the vision that it is our duty to make Barbados the best that we can make it, but more importantly, to make Bajans the best that they can be. And this journey is not just colored by who and what we are. It is colored by other events that happen domestically and other events that happen even externally. More and more as we, perhaps more than any other time in the history of this party, are learning. Grantley Adams formed this party on the eve of World War II. He knew what it was to face difficult times and that to live in a time when abundance was not there and uncertainty was the order of the day. Regrettably, when he passed, and he passed on leadership, first to Sir Harold, and then to Tom, his son. And Tom passed back to Sir Harold when we passed back to Sir Harold when Tom passed, suddenly. And then we went to Henry, whose record must always be cemented in this party because while not being Prime Minister, he understood the principles of bringing people together and brought many of us that you see who are now in our 50s and 60s. He brought Liz. He brought Ronald Toppin. He brought myself. He brought Glenn Clark. He brought Duncan Carter. He brought Joe Edgell. And above all else, while not bringing Owen, he allowed Owen to shine and to become the best that he could be. Owen Arthur was brilliant. And Owen Arthur understood. I remember him calling me in the opposition office, Tyra, as a young MP, young senator, not even MP. And he said, Mia, if you understand Barbados politics, you understand that for whatever reason, the Barbados Labour Party has ceded St. Michael to the Democratic Labour Party by running people who could not capture the imagination sufficiently. And if you look at it, the stalwarts of the Democratic Labour Party are positioned in the parish of St. Michael, which has the abundance of seats. The irony is that I understood it. Because in 1967, when local government was removed, it wasn't removed because Mr. Barr and my grandfather fell out, because they were very close. It was removed because in moving from double-member constituencies to single-member constituencies, all of a sudden, St. Michael would move from 2 seats, 2 in Bridgetown and 2 in St. Michael, to a larger number of seats. And therefore, if you wanted to maintain the dominance of the Democratic Labour Party, you could not allow Ernest Motley to remain in the city. And therefore came the statement, if you can't move Motley from the city, move the city from Motley. A little bit of history. But the point is that Owen understood that we needed to have a different approach. And Owen took the best of Tom and Henry, as he often told us from this stage, and he merged it with the best that he could bring to public life. And those youngsters who came in those early days under Henry then came to be joined by Reggie Farley, who came into the first cabinet of the Barbados Labour Party in 1994. And he then brought his good friend Jerome Walcott, a surgeon who had returned anxious to serve. And he asked Dale Marshall, who he knew was close to George Walton Payne. And he asked others along the way, Noel Lynch, and I can go on. And then he took some experienced people like Erskine Griffith, because he recognized that blending a team was important. And he took, and I was his general secretary for 8 years. And he therefore shared much with me. And we determined that it was important to cast a big tent. I was the person asked to go and speak with Trevor Prescott and Kerry yourself and David Comijong and Rudy Grant. He spoke to Clyde first, and then he then spoke to Clyde second. And there were some who didn't understand it at the time. And he said to me, do you ever remember President Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded when John F. Kennedy was assassinated? And I said, yes, but why? And he said, President Johnson, at a time of great tumultuous change in the United States of America, when the Southern Democrats were weary of wanting to admit black people into civil rights, understood that they could not locate themselves as a party within a narrow confine, and that they needed to move broader. And he then reminded me of the statement that President Johnson made, that it is better to have a tent with people doing their business on the outside. And that was not the word that President Johnson used, rather than doing it on the inside. Better to have people I didn't say the word that began with P when I did. But the point is this, that it has always stuck with me. And then he also said to me that to govern Barbados well, you have to bring together different groups and different ages, different classes. And just as I took the lessons of Brees and John, who told me, Mia, to govern well, you have to say yes and you have to say no. And there comes a time when the no's catch up on the yeses and you have to be conscious of it. I listened to Owen. And I understood that when countries, when nation states face grave crises, as we learned by studying those throughout history, they pitch a big tent because the country needs all that it can rely on to build the defenses and to carry the country forward. We live in an uncertain world today. And Owen said, then his was nowhere near what we are facing now. And he told me that to bring change to Barbados, long-lasting change, you need at least 65%, 2 out of every 3 people moving in the same direction in order for that to happen. He says the Labour Party naturally will always command at least 40 to 45% in the worst of times. And in the best of times, it will move between 50 and 55%. It's the same about the Democratic Labour Party too. And that is why when we had not tumultuous times, but critical decisions to make, he asked that we have national consultation. This is not something that I just make up. This is who we are, and this is how we have governed. And to my certain knowledge, because Errol Barrow was like a grandfather to me, and I would come home every afternoon from school between the ages of about 12 and 15, and he was there. Tom Adams, Breeson John, and Henry Ford were in my house every Sunday as a child. So I had the best of all. Delisle Bradshaw is responsible for me buying a house for the first time as an adult, because he told me, Mia, don't mind the rest. You can't go and ask people to vote for you if you don't feel that you are serious and steady. Go and buy a house. I will help you find one. That was what Brady told me. But I go back to the point. Owen sent me to speak to David Thompson about the Caribbean Court of Justice. We were leaving the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. And he said this is a major constitutional change, and the Labour Party ought not to pursue it on its own. And I went and met with David. When we left Villanova, after meeting with Prime Minister Patrick Manning and determined that after 30 years of back and forth on the delimitation and the flying fish and all of the things, to his credit, Breeson John tried manfully. And when I became Attorney General, I said to Owen, this is going nowhere. And if you have a situation that is a stalemate, you need to break it. And it is my considered judgment we should go to arbitration. And he said, but if we're going to do that, because we were then a second-term government looking to go into a third-term government, we needed to build consensus again, not just with the Democratic Labour Party, but the social partnership. And those of you who were in Parliament, Reggie, you will recall there were a series of meetings, and we met literally with everybody. When COVID hit us, I remember those lessons. It is true that before COVID, with the debt, we tried to engage, but there was no functioning opposition in 2018 to allow us so to do. Other than Joe, I met in Democratic Labour Party as an institution. So we went broad to the social partnership from day one. When COVID hit, we knew the social partnership would not be enough, and we needed to bring along the Democratic Labour Party. And we brought them along, and to Verla de Pisa's credit, Verla came and met with us, the social partnership and the church, and Barbados stood as one. And in the words of our now president, former member of parliament of this city of Bridgetown, the most honorable Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, there should be no retreat and no surrender. About twice in the last 15 months, when it became clear that this country was beginning to see difficulties with respect to public safety and crime, I said to the cabinet that we have no choice but to broaden. And the Honorable Attorney General, Dale Marshall, to your credit, we agreed that we would create an advisory council on citizenship security, because to win this battle, which did not happen overnight, but which is the culmination of decades of activity, we needed to go broad. And we agreed that we would approach all kinds of people to participate. We have teachers and principals. We have persons who are social workers. We have people from most of the main religions in this country. We approach Michael Lashley and Marty Garnes as lawyers at the criminal bar. We have the union and the private sector. And we approach the leader of the opposition. And when I spoke to him, he said yes. And then the next afternoon, the cabinet secretary told me, he said no. I will not say who tutored him or who told him to reverse himself. But separate from that, you know I'm a sucker for things. And as you heard Kirk say this evening, when it comes to consultation, I tell you, do it and do it and do it. Because leave the ball always in the other court and make sure you give people the opportunity to be heard. And I asked Ralph once again, Ralph, you are 67. And I will soon be 60. Both of us must have a desire for Barbados to be successful after us. And if that is the case, both of us must understand that our educational system is not what it needs to be and that we need to transform. I said, fight me on everything else. Fight me on housing, cost of living, agriculture, tourism. But there are a few things in this country that should be sacred, that require common purpose. When there is a threat from others outside, to us as Barbadians, when there is an intrinsic threat to our stability as a nation, either through crime or a public health crisis. And I remember this, when we went to foundation school in 2015, and then to the Barbados Workers Union Solidarity House in 2016 to adopt the Covenant of Hope. Ryan, you recall page 26 because it has been your Bible even in these moments as we are doing the estimates of expenditure and revenue daily, 8-10 hours a day, every day for the last 2 weeks. The first claim on public expenditure is public safety, and the second claim is public health and affordable access to health. The third is empowerment of our people and protection of the vulnerable, whether it is through education or protecting the vulnerable, Kirk, as you are now so nobly doing with the Social Empowerment Agency, taking institutions like the Welfare Department formed in 1945 and taking a Victorian approach to how you help poor people and modernizing it to one that we can be proud of in the fourth, going into the fifth year of us as a republic in this country. In the same way that we increase the welfare rates by 40%, and I suspect there is an increase on its way again. We recognize that these things are beyond partisan consideration. Because to really change it, it's not just about only changing laws or putting money in place or working with institutions. It is about transformational change of people in their hearts and in their spirits. Chantal, you have been helping to lift it for me with culture. Culture is not just about the arts and the music and the dance. It's fundamentally about who we are as a people. That is why we put out this song in COVID, This Is Who We Are. Because we must look in the mirror, as Mr. Barra said, and look and love who we see and be able to live it and practice it. But to get to that point, 50 or 55% will never be enough. And if the Democratic Labour Party as an institution has now become so devalued, so decimated, and so overrun by rats. I don't mean the people inside there, of course. I could never mean that. But they have allowed their circumstances to be completely disheveled and overrun and incapable of serious engagement in a democracy at the time when, as an independent nation, this country has never faced more challenging times. I say to you that if ever there was a time upon us to be able to refocus and settle as a people, recognizing, and Kerry would tell you, foreign policy used to be something that we did. Jerome would tell you, but it was never something that we had as a critical demobilizer, critical divisive agent, critical undermining entity. But almost every other day, Kerry Simmons is sending stuff to my phone. Prime Minister, may we speak? Prime Minister, this is about to happen. Prime Minister, this is a démarche. And if ever there was a time for Barbadians to act in singular purpose, it is now. We made a determination that on the economy, if there were those who were prepared to work with us, we would work together. And it hasn't only been recently. When we created the Jobs and Investment Advisory Council, Owen Arthur, in spite of the fact that, yes, there were difficulties before we came to office with Owen and myself, you know it, I know it. But tell me which family don't have difficulties. And the character of the family is not determined by the division that comes from difficulties, but by the character that is built from keeping the family whole in spite of the difficulties. And Owen returned to serve for the last 18 months or so of his life. Chris Sinclair stepped forward at that time too. And I said to you, yes, we said some difficult and awful things about each other. But if you are prepared to lift weight at a time when this country is facing a fiscal and economic crisis, not from within the cabinet or the parliament, because you were not there, but from where you stood, we would work with you. And the truth be told, there are others who I reached out to that I will not call their names from this platform, but some of you, Jerome as General Secretary, Santia as Deputy, you know that I have reached out to many. Because in my heart of hearts, our mission at this time in this generation is to take our country to safety when it is facing some of the most difficult and challenging times we have had. I say to you tonight, Michael, long before we had a political conversation, you agreed to come and serve on the Advisory Committee on Citizenship Security. You were there, just as Easton was there, just as Mr. President Reggie, you were there. And over the course of after maybe about 8 or 9 months, when I suspect you couldn't take the stench of rats anymore. You said to me, Prime Minister, I want to talk to you. And we started talking generally, and there was no discussion about running anywhere or anyhow, but there was a deep and utter frustration because you would call and talk about measures that I would then share with Dale that could help with the criminal justice system, because I've always told you that we are not omnipotent nor omniscient. We do not know everything, and we are not all-powerful. That is for the divine. And we engaged. And then over time, it became clearer and clearer. You said, look, you know, Will do him more than I have ever seen. And I feel that I want help. That's all he said. You have never known me to turn back people because I love people. And some of you say that perhaps I am too trusting. And if I am to die a trusting lady, let it better for me to have done so, better for me to have loved than not to have loved at all. You say to me that there are those who have come and left. And it is true. And we have the examples on multiple occasions. Because when people speak now, they speak as if I have only taken and received without recognizing that I too have lost. The sense of hurt that I felt when Joe Atherley left after 30 Love Victory, less than 2 weeks after, I've never spoken about publicly. But a few of you here on this platform know exactly what I mean. And it was what it was, and we continued because we were on a mission to make Barbados the best Barbados it could be. And when up at the Water Authority building again, doing estimates, William Duguid, you came to me and you said, Prime Minister, I believe that someone who I'm supposed to see tomorrow might be doing something today. And as a senior member in Christchurch, William indicated that a man who had stopped coming to parliamentary party meetings, Santia, that had no engagement with the parliamentary party, that hardly ever came to Parliament, only to mark his name, that made 2 or 3 speeches, was about to secure his pension. Dale, I'm told that the night in Bay Street on May 23rd, when I announced you as Attorney General, that certain faces dropped completely. But the difference was that I know what it was to have worked with Dale Marshall. And I know that Dale Marshall is one of the hardest working men I have ever worked with in my life. And he, like me, do not profess to be perfect. But we profess to care and to want to try to make that difference. I also know what it was to have worked with Ralph Thorne as a lawyer. In 2008, when Rommel Marshall had an election petition to bring, Rommel chose Ralph as his lawyer. I was the most shocked person when I went into Ralph's office. Kerry, I suspect you are the one person who can attest to all of this, having practiced in the same chambers. And the utter confusion and disruption blew my mind. And then when I saw the pleadings, I went to the others in the parliamentary party and said, I don't know that this is going to go very far. And regrettably, with election petitions, there are no appeals lists. The election court is final. So when I had to reflect on who could be my Attorney General, chalk and cheese, but that don't even describe it. And perhaps when I then learned of what the judge in Turks and Caicos said when Ralph resigned from the case, not in person as a lawyer is taught to do, but by email without his client knowing that he was no longer his lawyer. And when, having worked with that client, I suspect, Dale, it was months or years by then, because this is one of the longest running cases ever in the criminal history of the British Caribbean. And the judge reflected, and during the course of time, I'm sure you will get more of the exact quotations, but tonight is not the night for that. But suffice it to say that I then felt that I was validated. So that when he left too, you trusted and you were betrayed. There are a lot of women who know exactly what I mean when I say these things. That is not to say that there are not some men who know it too. But on these matters of heart, the men talk to each other and the women tend to talk to each other too. So I have only learned more about the women's version of the stories, but I'm sure the men have their version too. But the point I'm making is that when it comes to the point of us recognizing that you have to pitch a big tent, you may win some and you may lose some. But the one thing that we must not ever lose is Barbados and its safety and its prosperity. And Michael, I didn't know you were coming to conference. Some people don't believe me, but it is true. And Ashanta would tell you that I got the call when I was passing Lumber Company coming down, and they said there's ruction in Queen's Park. I said, ruction? I said, what happened? And they then told me that the Labour Party family saw Mr. Lashley come in, and there were warm embraces. I genuinely did not know. But it was a few weeks later, and some of you are sitting in the front of this crowd at Golden Square, ironically at Golden Square, the place where the events took place in 1937 that led to the Labour Party being formed as the Progressive League a couple hundred yards away in Martineau House now on Bay Street. It was in Golden Square that a number of you came. Collis, Rosita, Agneta. I could go on and on. When you were not there, Reverend, you were not there. And they said we can't speak for the Reverend, but we're speaking for ourselves. I don't know what the party will say, but the fact that he came to conference, I'm sure that you will not fail to hear us. And the people of the city, and you heard it from Kirk today, came and said, we have been talking to Michael Lashley, and we want Michael Lashley. I said, really? And Michael, you know that like with Chris, you and I have had our words too. I cannot change the past. But I, as a good Christian, have learned that if others before can live on principles, Liz, you are doing the doctorate in divinity, not me. But I have been exposed to religious instruction both at James Street Methodist Church with my grandmother and my great-uncle who was the reverend there, and at St. Mary's Church with my father and grandfather and them. And then by a quirk of fate, because of Dean Critchlow, confirmation at St. Michael's Cathedral. And if others before me have given others a second chance, then who am I? It is said that Saul had certain ways and certain practices and certain beliefs, and that he too changed and became Paul. And that the ways of Saul, Reverend Curtin, are not the ways of Paul. And Michael, when they came to me And I will tell you straight, we went to National Council, and as you expect in these matters, views will contend. But when we finished listening to all of the views, the judgment was that this was a man who was serious about bringing community service to this country, and in particular to this party and constituency. And if the people wanted him, then the voice of the people is the voice of God. I remember when Owen Arthur called Richie Haynes and asked him to chair the committee to look at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I remember when my father came home and said, and ironically, next month is 50 years that he left politics as the representative of the city of Bridgetown. And I was always interested in politics and being up among big people. I was only 9 or 10. And I remember he came home and he said that he was leaving representative politics because he did not think that he could be a good father, a good husband, a good lawyer, and a good politician, and that one of the 4 would have to give, and that he was of the view that his strength did not lay in politics, but it laid in the law, and that as much as he wanted to continue to represent people, he would do so from the position of law. And Michael, you are so correct, because the practice of criminal law allows you in this country to be able to uplift and to engage so many in ways that I cannot explain. So that when he chose to leave, he took a job from Mr. Barr as Consul General. Never joined the Democratic Labour Party, but he wanted to leave politics. And I can go on and on. I mentioned Clyde Maskell, who Owen brought as a former leader of the opposition and a former leader of the Democratic Labour Party. But the point that I make to you tonight is that this country is going to face and continue to face serious issues. And it is my judgment that while not being in any way betraying to the base of the Barbados Labour Party, where the majority of candidates have come from, are still fully and completely at the core of all that we do, there are times when you have to make a little room to bring others who can help lift heavy weight. And that is what we are doing in the city today. This government, in spite of coming to office with a country that was broke and the 3rd most indebted country, debt to GDP in the world, only after Japan and Greece, set about putting people first and at the center. 1 week after coming to office, I called Christine Lagarde. I never thought in my political life I would have ever had to do it. But the difference between us and the Democratic Labour Party is that we told you at Wharton that if I ever had to go up the stairs of the IMF to save this country, I would do so. We didn't hide and do anything that we did. And in spite of that, I told Christine Lagarde, yes, we will have to enter selective credit default on our debt, which is 177% roughly debt. At that time, we thought it was 156 before we came to office, and in the first week, when we discovered that there was $1.9 billion in arrears, Ryan, it would then recognize that our liability was 177% debt to GDP. And she said 2 things to me, one of which I repeated earlier this week. Is the sewage still flowing in your country? And I've never been more ashamed in my life, because you're talking to a big, big woman who never meet me yet. And I with the governor of the central bank and Ryan and the PS and the DFE, and the first question the woman gonna ask me is the sewage still flowing in your country? That was a polite way, because you know if it was in Barbados, they wasn't gonna ask people if the sewage still flowing. There would have been another S word. And you could choose which vowel you use, whether it is it or I. No, the J word belongs to Kerry. But the second thing that we talked about, I said, if you're going to go on a long journey, you need to give people a little breakfast. And that has become very famous within the corridors of the IMF and Fund, because this was our way of saying we're going to come, but we're going to stay faithful to who we are as a people, and we will bring Marsha and Ryan, you both know, the Barbados Economic Recovery Transformation Program. I am here tonight to say that had we not acted so, we would not be in a position to have lowered your income taxes. Every person in this country since 2019 has had to pay less income taxes in Barbados. We then took people who were earning $1,500 a month and said, you cannot be the only ones $1,500 and under getting a reverse tax credit. Those of you earning $2,100 a month should be able to get the reverse tax credit too. We then turned and decided to reduce your land taxes. And as fate would have it, in April 2026, regardless of whatever happens in the atmosphere, the laws of Barbados have determined that persons will get the first $400,000 land tax free in this country. We announced it in a budget 3 years ago. But when you have confidence in your ability and when you know that you are capable of delivering what you say you will deliver, you could enshrine it in law, as we did, becoming the first government to have that kind of confidence and to give you clarity as to where we were taking your taxation liability for land tax in that way. When, after the brunt of COVID started to hit, we then turned around and we recognized that cost of living was coming to bite out people. And especially at a time when some people had lost their jobs. And we turned around, my friends, and we put a basket of goods. And we capped the electricity at 10% for the first basic usage. But it wasn't only economic things that we've done. We turn around and men in here, young men, you can now go and spend time with your young baby, because if we want to make sure that this country has young people that turn away from crime, they need mother and father taking them from birth right through to maturity. And Colin Jordan, thank you for that. Thank you for extending the maternity leave for women by another 2 weeks too. And when in the middle of COVID, in the G4S strike, Tony Moore indicated, Prime Minister, you are solving this strike, but this is only a drop in the water. It will mean nothing. This country needs a minimum wage to protect people like these in here. And Colin, you remember it was near midnight at Illawarra Court. And we said, we will investigate and see if we can commit. And we created a Blue Ribbon Commission. Some of the people like Joe Goddard are now past. Sir David Simmons, Marcia Martindale, I can't remember everybody. I think Troy Lord. And we made sure. Alan Fields, Sir Alan Fields and Patrick Frost, who regrettably has also now passed. Thank you, Dwight. And this country introduced a minimum wage when all who served in Owen's cabinet know that the common refrain from the private sector and everybody, if you introduce a minimum wage, you're going to mash up the economy. Lisa, you know you were in the Barbados Coalition of Service Providers for part of that time, running it. And I say to you tonight, almost 5 years later, far from mashing up the economy, people who were earning $6.50 an hour are now earning, with the increase not only the introduction, but the increase that came about last year, $10.50 an hour. Work out the math. That means for them, $32 more for an 8-hour day. Multiply by 5. That means $160 more a week. Multiply by 4. That means $640 a week more. In the same way, a month more. When we came to office, we did the same thing for the pensioners, the non-contributory pensioners, and people told us then to, including Owen, that it was not possible and that we would break the system and break everything. And I told you, give me the vote and watch me. My friends, I could go on and on tonight, but there are many people here, and there is much excitement here. I feel it in the air. We have come to such a time as this by the cooperation and solidarity of many others. And when, Ryan, you delivered masterfully your budget speech last year, you indicated to the country that you were keeping faith with a promise that I made 2 weeks after we came to office to share the burden and share the bounty. And when we found that there was a bounty of excess cash in the consolidated fund, we decided that rather than, yes, we put money for the resilience fund, we put money for all them things, but we saw people and we said, give every Bajan over 18 years old, regardless of what they're doing, $300 to let them know that we have been grateful and appreciative for their sacrifices. It cannot, like in most things in life, represent the full sum. But how many times have you received a gift from somebody that you helped that just might have been a little token? Michael, when I practiced criminal law at the beginning of December, people would come to town. Jerome, I talked about that with you this week. And they would say, Miss Motley, hold on to these couple bags of green peas for me. And they would say, if you're coming up to St. Joseph, my husband got a pork that he killed on Saturday, and I got a leg for you. You understand? And that was not even close to what I might have spent as a time and representing the fees in a legal case. But the appreciation felt from the heart. And that is what I wanted to give Bajans last year. That we saw you, we felt you, and we heard you, and hold on to this as we go forward. We thank you. And my friends, in October I told you that as we move forward, there would be some changes. Some of them I do not know how you will get accustomed to. Cynthia Ford has been at my side from the beginning of my ministerial career. 7 years in education. And Cynthia is the salt of the earth. Cynthia was there for Tom Adams and David Simmons. And hence, when the opportunity came for her to run, I was the happiest person to manage her campaign and to see her walk up the steps of Parliament. Dale Marshall, I told you, perhaps more than any other minister, an attorney general must work closest with the prime minister. And whatever hour of day or night, Dale, you have never once failed to turn up for duty. I thank you for that. Arthur Holder, clearly Arthur out there. Arthur has been a blessed brother. When I had the opportunity to put someone in the Senate, not only was I noting that I was putting the first locksman in the Senate and in the House, even though now I can't go and pull anything anymore. But he has been faithful, and many people forget that Arthur Holder had a distinguished history in the social sector as a social worker in this country long before he became a lawyer. And the Urban Adult College was responsible for many a person getting through in life in this country. And Cory Lane, for whom there will always, always be a special place in my heart. Cory reminds me of my uncle, Elombe. There are some people who do better in the social space and the NGO space. And Cory's heart is fundamentally about helping people in everything that he does. Along the way, there were challenges, none that could be justified by the nonsense that others spoke about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about health challenges. I'm talking about other challenges. But it is not my business to talk anybody's business. And I say simply to you that in all that Cory has done, he has never once forgotten the people of the city of Bridgetown. He may have been constrained. He may have been constrained by his personal circumstances, but never once. And that is why tonight you heard him on this platform, even as he was not well, come to town and to say thank you to you, the people, and equally to commit himself, Michael, to working alongside you in this city of Bridgetown. I make bold to say that his perspectives on crime prevention continue to shape this government's perspectives. And in the same way he went to Chicago to meet with CRED, which is an organization led by Obama's Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, and now Kirk and the Attorney General Dale, both of you went, and we have been framing out. There were some mistakes along the way, as you heard, but the mistakes were not fatal. And if we are true to giving people a second chance, and if we are true to bringing about change in this country to improve public safety, then we must continue on this way that builds bridges between our spiritual sector, our non-governmental organizations, our public sector entities, and above all else, our families and our communities. And that was the Cory Lane way that I want to salute him for. Chantal, my dear, I'm in a position to thank Gregory Nichols for coming as the new person to follow in the steps of Santia Ford. And Gregory, you also are not new at this. And you are an example of a person who is, like me, a Jimmy Cliff follower. You can get it if you really want, but you must try and try. The reality is that you first offered yourself in St. Michael Northwest, and you didn't make it, and you humbled yourself, and you waited and went and worked in the parish in which you were born and raised. And you now have the opportunity, at their request, to come forward and represent them. Ryan Braffett, from the time Dale Marshall won in 2018 even, not even 2022, he kept saying, there is a young man in whom I have great confidence and who I believe will be my successor. All of us heard it. And you have remained faithful, and it is now your hour to step up to the plate as a Josephine and to show the people of St. Joseph that one who has come from among them is now in a position to truly see them, feel them, and help them, and work with them in a way that they can feel the utmost pride, having raised you themselves from a young boy in St. Joseph. Tyra Trotman. The people of the city of Bridgetown, I am saying to you, I know I'm saying, that a few nights ago, The people of St. Michael Central got the ball rolling to tell me that they were red and ready. You have tried to eclipse them tonight. But in fairness, you have a lot of help from the rest of the Barbados Labour Party family. Tyra, I did not know you. And these things may be difficult for people to believe. But I saw the passion with which you pursued representation in St. Michael Central. And I think it is fair to say that you started as a serious underdog. I swear to God. With Arthur and with many of your colleagues. But over time, they came to give you a different look because you earned their respect. And they saw you working assiduously to earn the trust of the people of St. Michael Central. I want to thank Lynette Holder too, because I don't believe that this notion that is easy to peddle by those who do not have this party's interests at heart, that this party is about shutting down dissent and shutting down. I heard Reggie Farley tonight say we have all night to be here. And we have the ballot boxes here. And the fact that people, Michael, came and chose you and hugged you up early did not mean that you might be uncontested in your approach here. Because as Jerome would tell you as General Secretary, our Constitution allows people to be nominated from the floor, even if they had not written the party. But I say to you, Tyra, you are a young lady. And perhaps you are closest in age to that which Liz and I were when we started this journey, and Ronald. And to that extent, I will say to you, continue with your passion and work hard to continue to keep the trust of the people of St. Michael Central, and we will work with you to make sure that you shall be victorious too. But Chantal, you didn't get here because good people left. You got here because someone left. And that someone left in a fit of, I can only assume that the only distinguishing factor I saw was that there was a penchant for leader of the opposition. But such is life. But I welcome the opportunity to have welcomed you into the team. Because even before he left, I asked you to come and lift heavy weight in my cabinet, particularly in the Prime Minister's office. And anyone who knows Chantal Monroe Knight will tell you that, that she too is a hard worker. And she does not know the word N-O, no, when it comes to requests to do things in the interest of this country. And Chantal, I look forward to being able to say to the people of Christchurch South, this time, I believe you will have someone who will be totally responsive to your needs in a way that someone else, in spite of us asking and cajoling Ralph Thorne, refused to get involved and refused to participate. And if the truth be told, Ralph knew that he was on thin ice and that he would be unlikely to be able to run in the Labour Party again because he abandoned. Santia even said it. You could imagine a South Coast sewage treatment project. William Dugan, 270 meetings from 2018 till now, every week. Wilfred Abrams lift the weight from the beginning, and even though he was no longer Minister of Water Resources, continued to lift weight. Ryan Strawn had to make sure, and always making sure that whatever needed to be put in place to give them money so that there would be no sewage in the South Coast again, we could do. Adrian Ford, well, I don't need to tell anybody who knows Adrian Ford, Adrian Ford is the defender of all living things. All. All. From geckos and lizards right back. And is the most appropriate Minister of Environment. Right, Adrian? So that Adrian was always concerned about what was happening in Graham Hall Nature Sanctuary, even as we were going through this entire. The only member in Christchurch who showed no regard, no interest. And Santia even reminded me on Wednesday, I don't even think he knows how to get inside here. By the treatment plant was Ralph Thorne. So when I say to you, my dear, that you will fill the shoes that Jerome Walcott and Bree St. John filled with distinction like them, I believe that to be the case. Serious times demand serious people. And I would like to believe that we have a team for the times. I would like to believe that we have the combination of personnel, all very different, but working in singular purpose for the people of Barbados. We have people with years of experience and tested judgment. And we have people with youth and passion and energy ready to bolt and run around the island enough times, with a bright future ahead of them. And me, I didn't expect to be here to speak to you again for a new term. But after the by-election last year, and after recognizing what was happening globally, in our time, it seemed as though when you turn your head right, it was a crisis. And when you turn your head left, there was a crisis. Hit after hit after hit after hit. Freak storm, ash fall, Hurricane Elsa, Hurricane Beryl, COVID, and COVID, and COVID. 2.5 years. And that's why, Santia, when people talk about roads, tell me what work was being done for 2.5 years on building roads when the country was shut down. People must not take politeness for foolishness. And the time has come for us to remember that on top of these difficult times have come now geopolitics and cost of living, and God forbid, war. We never thought we would see war in Europe again in our lifetime, but we did. We didn't think that Africa was still in the phase of coup d'etat, but now there have been so many in the last few years, driven by instability, driven by a climate crisis. And we certainly never thought that the Caribbean would cease to be in a zone of peace. Not because we don't have crime, but because we didn't have military conflict and pirates. Because for many centuries, the Caribbean was a theater of war and conquest and dominion. And little did I know that on January 3rd, barely half dozen, I would get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning from President Ali, my brother, Irfan. He says, it has started. Turn to Al Jazeera. And with that, there was no further sleep. And the heads of government of the Caribbean community met at 5:30 that morning. And little did Barbados, on waking up that morning, realize that we would be at the front line of displacement in Goodinedgel because of the excellent work that you have done bringing airlift to this country, bringing back Delta, bringing back United, doubling and trebling American. And with that came the cessation of flights and the cancellation on that day. Barbados was the largest tourism hub closest to Venezuela, and therefore the one most affected. And it wasn't only the North American flights, it was also the ones from Europe bringing cruise ship passengers, because we are the third largest home port in the Americas. I say to you that I never expected that we would be that close. And if I think we have turned the corner, We see what has happened this week. And Kerry, we will engage as we always do with dignity and with clarity as to our interests and principles. And this morning, Ian, in spite of other démarches this week, or in addition, I should say, you sent me another notam showing that the Northern Caribbean and Central America are now being warned to be able to take notice with any flights going through those areas because there is likely still to be instability in this Caribbean region. My friends, if ever there was a time for resilience, it is now. And Ralph Thorne could only say, oh, that's a buzzword in government. You remember? He in Parliament, buzzword, but for Ralph, Parliament is about theatrics. Parliament is about wild performance. Parliament is about arrogance. Parliament is about mockery. Parliament is even about trying to starve people. But as you heard from Kirk, when he tell you about starving people, the first body to the plates for lunch every week is Ralph Thorne. And I go further. When I asked him to come and meet with the education officials, and we planned it 2 weeks ahead of time, and I said, I'm going to bring the chief education officer, I'm going to bring the permanent secretary, bring all of them, and we can have the presentations and lunch in the dining room, the private dining room of Parliament. I come downstairs, gone in the dining room. I see the chief, I see the PS, I see the minister, I see the minister of state. Sandra, you were there? You remember? I said, where Ralph? I say, yeah. I said, but Ralph's supposed to be coming with Felicia Dujon and Maxine and others. I said, oh, they're down there at the bottom in the dining room eating food. And I went to them. I said, Ralph, we got all the people here. You agree that you're going to come and take this presentation? Well, foolish me, that was strike 3, because strike 1, William, is when he left us. Strike 2 was the thing with the crime. Strike 3 is the education. Ralph said, we can't make that no more. So, I know what it is for him. But let me tell you this, that we will not be distracted. Because what I have just listed out to you as our challenges, both externally and domestically, are real. But it has not stopped this government delivering for Bajans. We're not perfect. But we continue, and Barbados is a work in progress. In the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, you now see groundbreaking all over the place. And works in the public and the private sector. People, yes, complain about roads. But hundreds of kilometers, Santia, have been done already. We've started with you, William, and continuing. Poor Ian, you had some, but because you bridging the COVID period, you couldn't do much. But because we did hundreds, we know that there are hundreds more to do. So when I say to you, my friends, it is time to keep building. It is time to recognize that Barbados cannot gamble with its future. It is time to recognize that Barbados cannot be reckless with stability. It is time to recognize that others globally have recognized the confidence and have treated this country differently in the last 7.5 years. Being recognized and getting prizes for the work that we have been doing in so many sectors. Now is not the time to change course. Now is the time to stay safe with the Barbados Labour Party. Now is the time for us to become Bajan strong. You know what Bajan strong is? Bajan strong is what has gotten us through these difficult times. It isn't only Mia Motley and the Barbados Labour Party. It is Barbados coming together as one, Bajan strong. And when you have a people that are strong and assert in the name of the country, then it is time for all good people to step up. And it was against that backdrop I knew that I could not then walk away. Because to do so in the course of what we were building would be unfair to all of you and to all who I serve with. So my friends, I determined that we needed to keep building so you can reap the harvest. Because when we work together, we build that platform that can be fruitful and that allows labor to know that their efforts can be rewarded with success. Because when BLP leads, Bajans succeed. And if we are to continue to lead, exhibiting the democratic principles which we have shown in the city of Bridgetown, and we showed in St. Joseph, and we showed in St. Thomas, and we showed in St. Michael's Central, and we showed in Christchurch South, then it is only natural that we move from the confines of the party to the national platform. General Secretary, CEO, the people held on to me outside when I tried to walk in here. And they told me, Prime Minister, Mia, we are red, and ready. And they asked me, pass that bell for me. They told me, Prime Minister, you are a person that supports democracy. And if you support democracy, then you must know that you have to come back to us for a new mandate. And if you want to come back for us for a new mandate, then you must. On Thursday night, we had seats and moving. When I leave the city of Bridgetown, there are no more seats to be had. I ask you to please now listen to me carefully. I visited His Excellency Lieutenant Colonel, the Most Honorable Jeffrey Bostic, the President of Barbados. Just after 4 o'clock this evening, my colleagues are looking at me with enthusiasm because they too do not know. And I advised His Excellency that come Monday, the 19th of January, the Parliament of Barbados shall be dissolved. And I indicated to His Excellency that the writs for elections will be issued, having been proven and approved by the Honorable Attorney General, who awaits now only the dates. And in accordance with that, I now tell you, Honorable Dale Marshall, to please have the writs prepared to deliver to His Excellency tomorrow the lawful authority by which to dissolve Parliament on the 19th of January. And that nomination day shall be Tuesday, 27th of January. And on that day, when we are satisfied that candidates have been legitimately nominated and there are contests to be had, that polling day shall be Wednesday, the 11th of February, 2026. My friends, my parliamentary colleagues, some of them may be a little upset with me because only yesterday we laid in Parliament a bill to vest ownership in the housing estates promised and delivered by the Democratic Labour Party to be a free conveyance, but never in the hands did they receive title. And then in Parliament is a bill to vest over 200 people with title. But I say to them that if you do what we ask you to do, and if you help us to do what we need you to do, and if we come together in common purpose, and you vote BLP and you reap the harvest, then those people shall not only see their title approved, but we shall continue to bring prosperity, stability, and transformation to the people of this country. We are on a mission, or as Bajans would say, we on a mission. And I ask you now, listen to me carefully. Let the jubilation of the night encourage you to deliver from yourself the discipline and the order that is necessary to engage our constituents to be able to ask for the renewal of the mandate. We do not come to this with arrogance. We are confident, but not arrogant. We listen as we have shown, and we shall come to you confident that just as we delivered once, and just as we delivered twice, we can deliver thrice, 3 times in the interest of the people of Barbados. God bless you, God bless Barbados, and to the task we go to renew the mission of this great Barbados Labour Party. God bless you, and God bless Barbados. Thank you.
One thing that I know when election time come wrong again, when the BLP in power, we smiling again. Labour people, represent with your hand in the air. Put 'em up. Yo!
Election is the time you love to meet up with all my friends. Must be a monthly and bees bounded. The country winning, me and people. Represent with your hand in the air. Let's go!
Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles 'cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party.
It could be COVID or a threat. Me and God we said, is action you want, then real action you go get, because you, me, we are the heart of the country.
Vision strong and pump it up, pump it.
'Cause we got the team that winning, every single body winning, energy and vibes winning.
Every single man and woman I see inside of it. Got so much love for this country, we see it every day. Bridgetown people, represent with your hand in the air.
Put them up in the air. My team is equal and full of hype and energy. When we link up, Barbados goes far, that's a guarantee. Me and people, represent with your hand in the air. Put them up.
Leadership
then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country.
One thing that I know when election time come wrong again. When the BLP in power, we spinning again. Labour be one thing that I know when election time come wrong again. When the BLP in power, we spinning again. Labour people, represent with your hand in the air. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up. Yo!
Election is the time we love to meet up with all my friends. Must be a monthly and peace bound day. The country winning, me and people represent with your hand in the air. Let's go!
Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles 'cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party.
It could be COVID or a threat. Me and God be set. Is action you want? Then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country. Start to jump.
Vision strong and pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping.
Cause we got the team that winning. Every single body winning. Energy and vibes winning. Winning, winning.
Every single man and woman I see inside of it. Got so much love for this country. We see it every day.
Vision people
Represent with your hand in the air.
put 'em up, put 'em up in the air. My team is equal and full of vibe and energy. When we link up, Barbados goes far. That's a guarantee. Me and people represent with your hand in the air. Put 'em up, put 'em up.
Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles 'cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party.
It could be COVID or a threat. Me and God be set. Is action you want? Then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country. Start to jump.
Vision strong and pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping.
Cause we got the team that winning. Every single body winning. Energy and vibes winning. Winning, winning.
Vision strong and pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping. Pumping up, pumping.
Cause we got the team that winning. Every single body winning. Energy and vibes winning. Winning, winning.
Leadership that's strong with pride in challenging times. When we come together, the country smiles 'cause we are for you, me, we, and the BLP party.
It could be COVID or a threat. Me and God be set. Is action you want? Then real action you gon' get me. Cause you, me, we are the heart of the country.
One thing that I know when election time come wrong again. When the BLP in power, we smiling again. Labour people, represent with your hand in the air. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up. Yo!
Election is the time we love to meet up with all my friends. Must be